and girls, welcome to the Wrestling Roundup, your weekly dose of all things wrestling. From epic showdowns to backstage drama, we've got you covered. So let's dive into the ring. I'm your host, Jay, and I'm here with my fellow co-host, Dan.
How's it going, Jay?
Very good, sir. Yourself?
Good. Special day. We got a special guest today.
Yes, sir. We have a special guest with us, as Dan just alluded to. He is a reporter and anchor for CTV News Windsor. He's a husband, a father, two-time Regional Radio, Television, Digital News Association Award winner, and he is the current Noble Champions Group Wrestling play-by-play man. He is the one and only Mr. Sanjay Maru.
Oh my goodness! I've got my juice box and I'm ready. Thank you. What an introduction! My goodness, that's the nicest thing anybody said about me in the last year.
We should have started out with the Booker T instead of the 5-time. We could have the two-time champion.
My goodness!
That's it. But you're not done yet, though. So you still have lots of time.
I still got lots of time. Yeah, I might win some titles, and we could start adding some more numbers and accolades, and it'll be great. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. So, how did you get started? Did you want to take us back to, little Sanjay's at home and he started watching wrestling? How did it happen?
I have a very similar story to so many wrestling fans around the world where they saw it when they were young and that was it. They were hooked. And it wasn't any particular match. It wasn't any particular moment. I believe my first memory is something to do with Triple H and The Rock. They're both dragging each other from the crowd into the ring. That was the first actual WWE broadcast I had seen, but what got me into it before that was the wrestling games. My uncle, he's since passed away, but one of my earliest memories as a child is going to his house. He had the N64, he had WWF Warzone, and then of course as a kid I see The Rock and Triple H, so I start associating who I see in the game to who I see on the broadcast, and then it just built from there. I was fascinated, I was hooked. And not just the performance of it, but everything about it. I'm a junkie when it comes to broadcasting personalities. So I was a big fan of the differences in commentary style between Michael Cole and Taz and Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler. And I'm big into intros. Oh, they changed the theme song for SmackDown. This one's better than that. This one has more of a pop feel than a rock feel. Oh, I wish they'd go back to this theme. So... And in terms of what I do now as a journalist, I'm able to incorporate a lot of the things that I have heard. Michael Cole's phrasing when he says certain things, Jim Ross's phrasing, the cadence in terms of how they react to things. I've tried to take a lot of that into my current role as a journalist at CTV, in my current role especially as play-by-play commentator for the NCG, but... Yeah, little Sanjay just was enthralled by wrestling video games and making that connection to the actual broadcast, and I've just never stopped being a fan since.
Yeah, all right.
And you've been on every one of NCG's
that's right
events so far?
That's right.
Which is quite the resume, because... they're having one a month pretty much, so that's a busy schedule.
It's a busy schedule, and it's an honor to be part of something that's truly in its infancy. When the history books are written later about the NCG and, how they've grown, I'm honored that I can say that I was a small part of the very beginning of it.
That's right.
Because we are in our infancy, the structure of the NCG is very collaborative. It is very, if you have an idea... presented. It's not this corporate structure where you have to go through all these different hoops and, yes, of course we have somebody at the top who makes the final decision, but because we're so new, it's just, I don't care if you're the commentator, I don't care if you're the janitor, I don't care who you are. If you have a good idea, we want to hear it because we want to put out the best product, and I think we've been putting out a product. I mean, you both have seen every single show, and I'd like to think that we're putting out a product that we can be proud of.
The amazing part that I find of watching NCG is that every time, somehow, it gets better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be just you're more familiar with who's in the ring and what they do, and you're expecting certain stuff, but you've got Bobby Clancy in there, you got Giant Orion, you got the Freak Zeke. Yeah. You're not going for the good guys all the time. You're going for who your favorites are. And if you hate the good guy and you love the bad guy, they've done something right. As far as I'm concerned, you got guys like Giant Orion who he's a heel. But the man is phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely.
But the fans love him.
Yeah.
Explain to me how you can love somebody who does the bad stuff. Mm-hmm. Because that people are like me. You go to where the power is.
Yeah.
There's no more powerful person than Giant Orion.
Well, it's interesting you say that because on one hand, yes, we do have that subsection of fans who are the heel marks. They enjoy their heels. But at the same time, I've seen Giant Orion get into screaming matches with children. We're stuck with Bobby Clancy as the general manager. I hate to say it. I'm sure you love that. But I was hoping for some change, and I know Kieran McKenzie was going to try to create an NCG that was all about giving opportunities to everybody. And unfortunately, I think we're going to now continue down this path of Bobby Clancy giving the people in his pocket, example Giant Orion, those big opportunities. But in terms of that transition from the crown to the championship, Giant Orion was the Noble King. He won that crown at NCG's first event.
The King.
It was a gauntlet battle royal. He walks in last, uses a chair despite walking in last. I don't believe he needed to, but he did. Pins 2 guys at the same time.
Right.
Stacked them, pinned them with 1 foot. He wins the crown, and then Bobby Clancy announces that we are now changing the conditions surrounding the crown. Right. It is now something that can be traded in for a title shot. Now, this is something that I'm going to just reveal to you guys, on this podcast here. There is some discussion between NCG upper management, and we're talking Bobby Clancy, your bosses. There's some discussion about, was that the deal that Bobby Clancy agreed to? Was the deal that the crown could be cashed in for an instant title shot when the champ is down,
right,
or was it something that could only be cashed in for a title shot, a fair title shot, where both individuals had time to prepare?
Right.
I'd like to think that's something we can address at our next show, because right now, if that is the case, that Bobby Clancy broke the deal and he used the crown in a way that wasn't supposed to be used, I question Giant Orion's legitimacy as the NCG World Heavyweight Champion. So
just don't question it.
I question nothing from Giant Orion just because I don't need to be ragdolled by the man. I've met him personally, and I liked the way that went because it reminded me a lot of Money in the Bank.
for sure.
So you cash that in.
Right.
Legit or not, he cashed it in. And I don't know how long you want Stone Rockwell to prepare. He can prepare until next year. He is not going to be a formidable opponent for the Giant.
Well, Stone Rockwell, to his credit, he was a fighting champion for the NCG, defended that title against all comers. We saw him defend the title against Beastman, who, of course, now they've become allies since. AJ Kazana of the NWA. He did defeat Giant Orion. You say that he wouldn't be a formidable opponent, but remember, this whole history of the NCG, the first main event, Stone Rockwell versus Giant Orion. Now, credit to the point you're making, Giant Orion did dominate most of that match, but Stone Rockwell, as he's been able to do throughout 2024, he found a way to win, and it took this use of the Noble Crown to essentially for Giant Orion to take the title from Stone Rockwell. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Giant Orion handles this championship reign, because I think there's a lot of questions.
I get that, and I'm not going against any of them. Rockwell,
I don't know, I think
Rockwell is a good champion, but I'm going to tell you, Rockwell did not pay enough attention because his title went for a walk with the dead man. The Soul Taker took it. The Soul Taker brought it back to him, gave it to him upside the head, and that was it.
True.
Yeah, let's clarify. He didn't hand him the title. He
No.
hit him from behind.
But it was in his hands, right?
It was in his hands, yes.
And he said, here's your title, you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And the man fell down, and then you tell me who's kicking out of what they call the Razor's Edge is not. That is the fall from Olympus. Yeah. It's been named here first.
Okay. Yeah, you heard that here.
That is the fall from Olympus that comes from
I'm going to write that down.
Ryan.
Fall from Olympus.
He's
all right.
Give you the trademark.
Love it. Okay, thank you.
That is a true finishing move.
That is a very true finishing move, yes.
I don't care if you're fresh or you've just gone through a 20-minute match. You're not kicking out of that move.
And it does make sense that Giant Orion would use the former Razor's Edge because, as you know, Giant Orion is a bad guy.
Yes, he is.
He is the ultimate.
There you go.
Bad guy.
I got it.
He is the ultimate bad guy, yes. Yeah. But so now the stage is set for our next event on April 5th. We're back in the LaSalle Event Center, and of course,
which is phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Fantastic facility, and the staff there are great, and it just looks great, and we're able to bring in such a large capacity crowd, and we had quite a few hundred people at our previous event, Ain't Easy. I'm pointing here, by the way, for those of you watching, because we got the poster right here.
We got it right here.
That's it.
Our graphics team, by the way, they do a brilliant job. What a card this was, by the way. And bringing back Tessa Blanchard, who... What's interesting with Tessa is when she became the NCG Women's Champion last year, she hadn't returned to TNA yet.
That's right.
Now she returns to TNA. She still is the NCG Women's Champion. She comes back, defends the title against Freya the Slayer of the OVW, and now we've got Tessa Blanchard, one of the biggest stars, not just in women's wrestling, but in all of professional wrestling.
Right.
I mean, we just posted her match, or her full match against Freya on YouTube, and in 2 days, I believe it's at 60,000 views, which I think is unheard of. Which is, I mean, that's the drawing power of Tessa. Of course, we had the Godfather in the house, so I'm so excited to be back in the LaSalle Event Center. That's my hometown, LaSalle, Ontario. I love LaSalle, so so grateful to be back in that facility on April 5th.
Yeah, April 5th. Yeah, that's going to be here. We're just about a month away.
Yeah, it's coming up fast.
We're seeing now the
That's
card
what
is
I
starting
mean.
to build up.
Yes, the card.
Look how fast they're having.
I know.
It's to me, it's it's as quick as the WWE is turning around on their pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
This
Is a new organization for this area, which, hats off to them. 90% of this is local stuff.
Yeah.
So it's local fans, it's local wrestlers, local talent. Within a very short distance, we're getting guys coming over from Detroit. We've got guys from all around Ontario coming here. We've got them all over Canada.
They're from everywhere.
And to see the growth is amazing.
And
amazing.
To your point from earlier, because we're local, we have a lot of those same fans. We have a lot of new fans coming after every event, but we have a subsection of those same fans who... We had a ring announcer, I believe it was 2 events ago, and he asked the crowd, how many of you have been here for the 1 show, 2 shows, 3 shows?
Right.
And you'd be surprised at the volume when he said, how many of you have been to every single NCG event?
That's right.
And there is a following, there is a crowd of people who they have seen from day one. Stone Rockwell beat Giant Orion in the inaugural event. They've seen the second event where we brought Tessa in. She became the champion. They've been there for the third event at the LaSalle Event Center. And then, of course, we were back at the LaSalle Event Center again this past February. So they've seen the growth of the NCG, and now they're building this attachment to our characters and to our stories. And I really believe 2025 is an opportunity for the NCG to step it up. Like you said, it looks better visually every event.
It's amazing.
I think you ain't seen nothing yet. I believe you honestly have not seen nothing.
Even myself, I walked into because I've been to each one, and we went from small bars to getting bigger, to getting bigger, to getting bigger, to walking into the LaSalle Event Center and saying, holy crap.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever been there.
Okay.
This looks like I'm going to a wrestling match in Detroit in the middle of their arena. It's just amazing. I'm going into Skydome. There's the ring. Here's the chairs. I can see where your commentary is going to be sitting.
Yep.
There's the ramp.
Yep.
And everybody is close enough that you witness all of that. You don't miss a thing in there. It's just an amazing thing. And at the same time, what I noticed there was you got Michael A. Joseph wandering around who looks the part of Vince McMahon walking around. And I was like, look at him. Look at how he carries himself. He's not a wrestler, but he's like the millionaire wandering through.
And making sure the show's running smoothly. Yeah,
who's
definitely.
that guy?
That's it.
Who's that guy? Mm-hmm. But he's just there. He's a presence that you notice, and he cares enough that he's there, and he's making sure that everyone's having fun.
Right.
Everybody enjoys it, and everything that we want the fans to see, they're seeing. And I just thought that was an amazing concept for a new one. You would expect him to be sitting in the back watching a monitor going, I don't know if people, but he's out there and he sees the reaction. And that's, I think, is an amazing thing.
Yeah, the fantastic thing about the look, as you were mentioning, of these NCG events, first off, we have a fantastic team that puts these sets together. And like you were saying, the sets change now. At this last event in February, we had the live broadcast feeding to the Tron. So now if you're sitting in the crowd, let's say they spill to the outside on the other side of the ring, you might not be able to see. Now we're beaming it to the Titantron, essentially. We'll call it the Tron. Maybe we'll call it the Titantron, but Titan Towers, but we'll call it the Tron. But so now you can see the action from anywhere. You don't feel alienated. I believe it was our second event where we didn't have that ability. This was last year, August of last year. So the action had spilled out in the parking lot. We had our main event spilled out in the parking lot, and one of the pieces of feedback we had heard was, if I'm in the crowd, I can't really see what's going on. Yeah. There was the subsection of fans who followed the action, but if you're on the other side, you couldn't see. So we listened to that. Our team who does the sets and the media, they said, okay, let's make it a priority to ensure that the live camera shot is beamed up to the Tron. So if you are a day one fan, if you are someone who's never watched wrestling before, you are going to enjoy this show. And the team that does these shows is a team of people who have seen the growth of WWE. They for example, like I was saying, I'm a stickler on cadences and the position of the table in relation to the ring. Do you put it on the side? Do you put it on the stage next to this ramp where people are coming down? Because now, on one hand, I have to turn around, but then it also makes you feel closer. But on the other hand, if you're on ringside, now you got a first row, best seat in the house view. So, and that changes your style of commentary too, depending on your position in, how close you are to the crowd. Because if the crowd's right behind you, you have to step up the volume because you don't want to get drowned out by the crowd. If you have nobody behind you, you can stand up because you don't have to worry about blocking anybody behind you. These are things that we have to think about because of the set design. But yes, to your point though, to see how fast the NCG is rising and the investment in putting on a high caliber show that looks the part and feels the part too, because it doesn't just look the part, it feels, like you said, you're watching a high caliber production. And I credit our media team who makes these video packages that can catch you. I'm a big believer in, especially when you're doing an independent wrestling event, you have to ensure that you are creating an experience that doesn't just reward those fans like the both of you who have been here since day one. You need to be able to reward the people who have never seen the NCG before. So you need to use that video screen. If I'm talking about the benefits of that video screen, let's use it to our advantage. Let's start making video packages that catch you up on this is why this character is important leading into this match. Even if it's a one-off match, even if it's just a promo for 30 seconds that sets up the story of the match. We had at this last event Chantel versus Ray Larson. And to set up that match, myself and Drake, we stood at the desk and we just told the crowd the story, which is essentially, last time we saw Chantel, she was competing against Tessa for the title. Yes, she lost, but she, held her own. She took it to the champ. She was expecting a rematch for the title. She had one match, I believe, after that Tessa match, so she believed, okay, I picked up a win after giving Tessa Blanchard a run for her money. I should be competing for the title tonight. I shouldn't be facing a newcomer like Ray Larson. And what happens? Drake and I, we set up the match. The fans are able to connect to it. Ray Larson wins.
Yeah, quickly.
Ray Larson wins. And now you have two stars. You have Chantel, who we've now educated the crowd, took Tessa Blanchard to the limit. And you have Ray Larson, who used the no DQ stipulation to her advantage to defeat Chantel. Now you have two stars. And it's not, the point of what I'm saying isn't the fact that you just have two stars. You have two stars that the fans now understand the importance of where they're coming from. So, I think this team here at the NCG, they have a really good eye on understanding all the pieces required to ensure that the fans are included. As many fans are included as possible.
They are.
So you don't have to have been to 7 events before. Now, if you have been, you will be rewarded.
You're all set.
Because you have that emotional attachment to a Giant Orion. If you're a newcomer, you won't. But if you've never seen him before, it's okay. Because you will know him.
And that was a conversation that we had, and it wasn't on Giant Orion. It was El Patron, Bar and Grill.
Yep.
I went in and I'm looking, I'm thinking, what is going on? How are they going to even pull this off? So they had Moose's there.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. There's Moose.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to Moose to have a conversation. This is like the big celebrity here. What I missed was the real celebrities, the rest of the guys, because I didn't know them at the time. This had just come out, and there was one guy standing at a table all by himself that I never even noticed till the end, and it was Zico.
Yes.
It was Zico.
Yeah.
Now that I know who he is, I've followed his path. It's like there's nobody better than Zico. We've had him on the show. He's a phenomenal person, but he's for the kids. There was just so much that if you took the time to learn and to show up, but I left El Patron Bar and Grill thinking, when's the next one?
Yeah.
Because I've got to go to that. Same thing at this one. There were more fans walking out of the LaSalle event center saying, when is the next one? You don't get that. You don't. And I don't care what anyone. I heard people complaining pricing. for $250, if you can take your family out for dinner and a movie, let me know.
Right.
Because you're lucky to get dinner
Right.
done. For what they were charging for a family pass is more than reasonable, and it's just going to bring more people in. Yeah. Grab the family pass, get the meet. You got to get the meet and greet.
Because again,
you got to.
When you say you go to certain events, yeah, what event can you go to where you can meet the people before they get in the ring or even after? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, just hang around after.
I mean, April 5th, NCG's next event, Believe, Joe Hendry's part of the meet and greet. And we're also working on some other things that may be a part of that VIP experience as well. So if you purchase a VIP ticket, first off, just worth the price alone, you get to meet Joe Hendry.
Yes.
Exactly.
I mean, that
TNA
alone, the current TNA World Champion who has turned himself into a global superstar. And I am beyond honored. I mean, April 5th is my WrestleMania. That I get to call a Joe Hendry match is... 4-year-old me would be just freaking out that you're going to call a match not just with the TNA World Champion in it, but again, one of the big... I mean, you heard his reaction at the Royal Rumble. I mean, these fans love Joe Hendry, and for him to be in that setting, and then on April 5th, he will be at the LaSalle Event Center under the banner of the Noble Champions Group. I mean, that is, beyond my wildest dreams. But yes, to your point, though, the meet and greet is not just with these stars maybe that you haven't heard of who are trying to, get that name value. The Godfather was part of the meet and greet at the previous event.
Right. He's just hanging out.
He's just hanging out.
I'll throw out there because I was just observing what was going on there. Mm-hmm. We had a young fellow who was 10, first time ever at wrestling, where I was taking him through meeting Zico, meeting Bobby, meeting Giant Orion, meeting Dynasty, going through, Freya the Slayer. Yeah. Boom. You got to the Godfather and you have Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, right beside each other.
Their lines were the same length. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And I followed Tully Blanchard back into the 70s.
That's it. Yeah,
but to see how well her popularity has gone, good or bad, she gets that line. Those people want to get her autograph, want a picture, want to see her, whatever it is. She has that draw. And like you said, when she started with NCG, she was not the TNA champion.
No.
So now we've come into, and that's one of the things I said was, I've never seen, and I watch a lot of the independents, an independent start out so small, give you that feeling that you're at a WWE experience, and within 6 months, you have someone like TNA watching them.
Right.
You've shook the right trees. I'm telling you.
I mean, whatever our upper management is doing, they figured out the secret sauce. And to your point, it's not that, Tessa, now that she's become the champion, she's maybe too big for these meet and greets, so she can't be a part of it. No, Tessa was still part of the meet and greet. Godfather part of the meet and greet. Joe Hendry will be part of the meet and greet. I mean, there's going to be a line of fans who are going to want to get that boomerang, the turn, the smile. I mean, will I want to do it? Of course I will.
But Joe Hendry will be lined up there. He'll have his meet and greet.
I'd be surprised. I mean, that line better be, around the building. I mean, he's
I'm going to the king.
Yeah.
I'm going to Giant Orion.
Well, let's talk about the crown again. Giant Orion is no longer holding the Noble Crown because he traded it in for the title match. Well, maybe to you, but speaking of NCG's next event, there's actually going to be a 6-man ladder match that night to crown the new NCG Noble Crown. We are going to have 6 participants.
I understand that, but my question would be to you, okay, if this was not legit the way he did it, why are we giving this crown away?
Because
why aren't we waiting to see what
think
happens?
that's Bobby Clancy's choice. I think Bobby Clancy, maybe if he broke the deal, we shouldn't be rewarding Giant Orion and Bobby Clancy by saying, well, here's your crown back, here's your future title shot back.
But is it a bad thing? And where do you get the nerve to come back on? You made a deal with the devil. You knew.
Well, I think we'll find out on April 5th.
All right, yeah.
You knew the deal you're making.
We definitely will.
Yes, and very underrated in that match was Beastman.
Yes.
That man is being a big man,
he can move.
He's quicker than a hiccup.
Those cannonballs in the corner, he can move.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, so you had that, and I'm looking at just the match as we're going in there. I did not know what to expect from Bobby other than he's a small and built like a brick wall coming at you.
Watch yourself.
He's very much like a brick shithouse coming through. So I was excited to see his actual wrestling. because I never had that honor in my life. So I'm looking at that. Then I'm looking at the monsters that are with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got Talos, over 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
You've got the man, Giant Ryan. He is enormous. Like,
Yes.
in person. Then you've got Shotgun Tony Gunn.
Right.
And it's just he's got her loaded. He's ready to go. Like, that guy, his skill set is amazing.
For sure.
I find he's just amazing. Then I'm looking at the other side, and I'm thinking, okay, who are they going to bring in?
Right.
So
you had no idea until they walked down the ring.
But
right?
you brought in Stone Rockwell. You brought in Beastman. Beastman, good choice. Good choice.
Oh, for sure.
But then you had Mike Legacy, who was winded before he got to the ring. And then you had Karen McKenzie, who came out that I thought was an 80-year-old woman at the beach wearing headgear.
Wow.
And I thought, what he is doing, if he gets in there, he's getting ragdolled.
Expressed by Dan are his.
Oh, they're all mine.
Only his.
They're all mine.
Say that.
They're all mine, and if he was here, and
Hey,
I
credit to
said
Kieran McKenzie. I mean, he got more involved in that match than I think anybody assumed he would.
I
mean,
agree.
Seeing him get body slammed, I mean, I know I'm kind of proving your point right now, but seeing him get body slammed, I thought maybe he would, be in the match for 2 seconds.
But what was he wearing? He was wearing an 80-year-old
It's wrestling.
bathing suit.
It's wrestling.
From the Jaws movie.
Come
I was
on,
like,
it's a
what's
singlet.
going on?
With his headgear on.
Yeah,
and everything.
and it was
reminded
just
me
like
of Michael
watching
Cole. You mentioned Michael
a couple
Cole
of seniors in the produce aisle getting like the smackdown. I was just like, what are we doing here?
I don't know.
So I had no doubt that the Clancy Chaos Clan was going to take this all out.
Well, what's interesting in terms of the setup of this tag match is it was NCG's final event of 2024 when Kieran laid out a challenge to Clancy.
Right.
Clancy said, I won't face you one-on-one, but I'll face you in a 4-on-4. And I had a lot of fans come up to me after and say, why would Bobby Clancy put his own job on the line in an 8-man tag where he doesn't even have to be pinned to lose the match and lose his job? But I think Bobby Clancy clearly knew that with the power he has as general manager, he would have a team that, I mean, look at the team that he...
unmatched.
But all you're doing is just
Absolutely.
proving how smart he is. Because he lured him in to play his game. Now, you've got Bobby Clancy, who, when's the last time he wrestled? But he did a phenomenal job that night.
Okay.
He's going after what he wants, and he has a monster team. Like, really, who
Literal
else?
monsters.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yes.
Jack Talos, Giant Orion.
Yeah. So
Literal
unless you're
monsters.
bringing in the Big Show and maybe Mark Henry, you don't have a shot. Doesn't matter who you have, because it's already now it's 4-on-2. Because it's only whoever your mystery guests are that are even going to put up a fight against these guys.
But that's the element of surprise, though, because they didn't know how to prepare or who to prepare for at that point, right?
But do they need to? You've got these monsters. Monsters don't need to prepare.
Okay.
They need to come in and do what they did. They destroyed everybody.
All right. But
And that's just the way it was. Now, I've said enough about Giant Orion. I think the guy is phenomenal.
okay, he's your king. Yep.
He's
your
the king.
Former king.
So you put the hand up when you talk about the king. Now, we've taken his crown. We're going to give it to somebody else. I agree with this 100%. Like I said, it's just like the Money in the Bank. This is, or King of the Ring. This is what we're doing. Great way to do it. Great way to forecast a lot of the talent. Get them all involved. I'll give you, right now, the spoiler, the prediction, the whole thing is that on April the 5th, the congregation walks away with tag team titles.
Ooh, interesting.
Listen,
Look at he's dropping predictions all
He
yeah.
is, he is.
They are walking out
Okay.
with the tag team, first ever NCG tag team champions.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
First ever.
April 5th is going to be a stacked card, like you mentioned. So we've got the inaugural NCG Tag Team Champions being crowned. Both teams had to win matches at previous events to qualify for this one. So we've got the congregation who Giant Orion's favorite peasant says is going to win that match, taking on Dynasty, two fan favorite teams. And it'll be interesting to see how the fans kind of take to both teams.
There's another that I am a favorite. I have
Juice box break as he touts Giant Orion and
Suck
his...
on your box there. I'm going to tell you right now.
Drop the knowledge.
The other one,
I don't know if you have to bleep that out, but you probably should. Anyway, yes,
Yeah.
what's the other match you're looking for?
the other match is, and I don't care who he's against, he's walking out on top, and that is the Freak Zeke.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That man has elevated his game to a level that most people can't get to.
The new North American champion.
Yes.
Well, I will say right now there is talks about whether or not Zico will be defending his NCG North American title at our next event. We obviously do hope to see Zico and we'll talk about the success story of Zico. I mean, this was a man who in the first few NCG events, he struggled to pick up a win. I remember him, was pinned in a triple threat match to Kevin Blackwood. He had fallen short in quite a few. I believe the very first event, he was unsuccessful in his NCG debut, and then he walks in to September 20th, 2024, multi-man ladder match for a shot at the North American title. For whatever reason, Zico the fans loved him. The fans just love Zico. And
How do you not?
How do you not? I mean, but the thing is, prior to that match, Zico was somebody who had a bit of a chip on his shoulder when it came to taking to the NCG fans. But
Deservedly.
Perhaps deservedly, but for whatever reason, I mean, at the September ladder match, Zico, we crowned it the NCG match of 2024. Incredible ladder match.
First ever
Yes.
ladder match winner.
First ever ladder match winner. Climbs to the top, secures the briefcase, challenges Damian Chambers in a one-on-one match. I believe there was some shenanigans from Bobby Clancy and Jesse V.
Yeah, a little bit, yep.
And Zico loses that match, and then after, all that happened against Damian Chambers, then you've got our last event, NCG Ain't Easy. Kicks off with Zico versus Jesse V. Zico essentially convinces Bobby Clancy to change the stipulation. Winner of this gets added to Chambers versus Wheeler for the North American title later tonight. Right. Clancy reluctantly says yes. He believes in Jesse V. Jesse V kind of let him down a little bit, according to Clancy. According to Clancy, Jesse V let him down. I think Jesse V, you win some, you lose some, and unfortunately Jesse V didn't get the W. Zico wins. He moves on to the triple threat. Zico versus Wheeler versus Chambers, and Zico wins the North American title.
Deservedly walks out with the title. Look at every major leap that NCG has done from the first ever Zico winning the ladder match.
Yeah. He's afraid of heights too, by the way.
Is he?
In case you didn't
Wow,
know.
I didn't know that.
And as you're going through, every major thing that has propelled NCG forward has a common denominator. And it's the one that you all don't like. It's Bobby Clancy's brains behind it.
Oh, please.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Bobby Clancy's brains, I think I credit the talent who are putting on, these incredible matches. I mean, he's been trying to take the title from Stone Rockwell. Stone Rockwell was defending that title. You got Damian Chambers again. Not a fan of the attitude, but he's the one in the ring. I believe he defended the NCG North American title once outside of the NCG.
Yeah. Yes.
That had nothing to do with Bobby Clancy. So, I mean, that is...
But the leaps and bounds that we're watching, as a local fan, Bobby Clancy's behind most of them. Okay. Well, his brain power is behind... Do you think Kieran would have came up with any of these? Or as Bobby calls them, Karen... come up with any of these matches? No.
I think so. No. I think maybe he could.
I don't think that we get the quality.
Ooh, I was in the crowd that night, and they were chanting Ward 9, Ward 9.
Ward 9.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
I don't know if you heard that.
Wow.
It was no, you didn't because you were on.
I was on the headset, unfortunately. But
let me ask you about.
I thought they were yelling "We're 9."
No,
I thought they were talking about their age.
Ward 9.
Ward 9.
They were showing respect to Kieran McKenzie.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure what.
When you're on commentary, can you hear a lot of the crowd behind you?
Yeah. I mean, depending on the proximity, but definitely at this previous event, you can definitely hear the chants of the people, especially in the first few rows behind you.
Okay. Any comments that, caught your ear, like a smart comment where you're like, okay, hey, that was a pretty good line.
Oh,
anything
wow. Ooh, talk about it on the... Oh, sorry, I almost tipped the table. Talk about an on-the-spot question. No, I'm kidding. In terms of... Broadcast journalist. I'm so engrossed in what I do as a commentator, I'm not paying attention to what the... No, I'm kidding. I have heard... people call for, certain weapons, and then that kind of dictates the pacing of the match in terms of, we want tables, and they'll pull out a table. We saw that in August of 2024, Stone Rockwell versus Beastman in the first action-adventure match, spilled out to the parking lot. I mean, that entire match was just dictated by fans yelling, we want this, we want stairs, we want tables, we want chairs, and then, they just kind of rolled with it. So, in terms of smart comments, I can't say... these fans, they're just here to enjoy a show. In terms of, but I can't say that anything's really caught my ear that has made me. I guess the one thing I heard at the previous event is when Counselor Kieran McKenzie was in the ring. I heard Counselor Jim Morrison laughing hysterically every time Kieran got slammed, and to the point where I took my headset off and I said to Jim, respectfully, I said to Jim, Jim, you're next. We got to get you in the ring. We got to get Kieran and Jim in a tag match, versus Giant Orion, and maybe a 2-on-1 handicap match might be good. But, just in terms of commentary, we try to be so dialed in and focused into the research that we've done on our participants and ensuring that we're telling the stories the correct way, because ultimately, we know that there's a high chance these matches will be shared, on other platforms at some point, and so these matches will live on. And so it's important that if you're watching this match a day after it happened, a year after it happened, or 10 years after it happened, you should be able to have some connection to who were these individuals, why are they fighting, and why should I care?
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you too.
Yeah.
The camera being on you guys as the broadcast team. What do you think of that? Or was that your idea?
I love it. Yeah, that actually was my idea to put the. It was my idea inspired by the WWE and the Michael Cole cam, and I believe we've seen more of it now.
I'm a big fan of Cole. Big fan.
I was a coal miner before it was cool to be a coal miner, but we'll talk about that in a second.
It's never been cool, but
it's so nice to see him getting the respect he's been deserving for a while. But when I saw that camera angle that WWE was using, I thought that is absolutely genius. It's a way to just add emotion into the spot that you're seeing. To me, it's the same as when you're watching what's big right now in the streaming world, reaction videos.
Right.
It's the same thing as, I'm going to watch a video game and I'm going to watch somebody reacting to a big moment in a video game. That's kind of the big thing. So to me, it's the same thing of I'm watching not just a crazy moment, but I want to know how the commentators reacted. Because if I'm freaking out and I see them freak out, I'm supposed to be freaking out. I mean, that is, like when, let's look at the no DQ match, Chantel versus Ray Larson.
Please.
Ray Larson, chair to the face, and it got Chantel clean.
That's the chair shot heard around the world.
Chair shot heard around the world.
Nobody's going to forget that moment that ever saw it. No. Especially if you saw it live. You left there thinking,
she's hurt.
She may be in a hospital somewhere.
Exactly. Where is she? Nobody saw her after.
And that was a conversation I had with the guests that we had was, that's how tough she is. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not taking a chair shot to the face and walking away.
No, because you watched the referee jump in right away to check on her. Hey, I thought for sure she lost.
Yeah, referee Tango Jones, he had to jump in because I thought
Tango Jones.
She almost did the mankind to the nose. Mm-hmm. That's what I was looking for.
No, it was close.
But you talk about...
She was hurt bad. She was hurt bad. That caught her clear in the face.
And the thing that caught me, too, is they call her the Vandal.
Yes.
And she's the one that got tagged with the chair.
Yes.
Well
done.
I'll be here all week.
Love it. We need a pun or something from you now. We're waiting for... instead of this whole Giant Orion love fest over here.
He does the pawns.
Yeah, he does the pawns, whatever,
He does those. I don't do those.
It's not you.
It's not me.
Yeah.
I'm an Orion fan.
There you go. Are you? I didn't notice. So
I am a Bobby Clancy fan.
Are you? I didn't notice. So
I did have the pleasure of meeting Talos. Mm-hmm. The man is a monster.
Yes.
Monster.
Been on Netflix, by the way. I believe he's been on Netflix.
Is he on The Wrestlers?
I believe so, yeah. I believe he was on The Wrestlers.
Because I know Tony Shotgun.
Yeah. Yes,
Shotgun
Tony Gunn was on there,
And I watched Freya on there just the other night.
So right now, this card for NCG Believe It is building fast. Because we will find out if the crown will be something that, like you said, is it like Money in the Bank that can be cashed in when the champ is down? Mm-hmm. Or will it only be something that you can trade in for a fair title match when both sides have time to prepare? I would like to see it be the latter because I believe, Money in the Bank already exists, and I think for, the Noble Champions group, I believe if we're going to have Noble in our name, then we should have, an accolade that. Plus, I think it's important too that the crown shouldn't just be something that is always a step to the title. We want it to. I akin it similar to the X Division title. Mm-hmm. It's its own accolade. But once a year, you have the opportunity, like option C, to trade it in for a world title shot without it diminishing the prestige of the title. To me, I see the Noble Crown that way, but obviously we'll see what happens on April 5th. So Chambers-Hendry main event, ladder match, Congregation Dynasty first tag, team champs being crowned for the NCG. So just that alone, those three matches, that's half the card. The other half is TBD still. We still got the second half of this card. Giant Orion, I've been told, may be defending the NCG World Title. We'll see.
He'll know before you.
I'm sure you'll know before me. I mean, you probably have a direct line to him. So
I do.
Yeah,
I have a line to Olympus. I'm telling you right now.
yeah.
I have a line that goes right to him.
You have to go by the window. The call doesn't connect. But so you've got Giant Orion defending the world title. We may have an appearance from Zico, the new North American champ, new tag champs being crowned, first tag champs being crowned. New Noble King being crowned.
We have the congregation being crowned.
Okay.
So we already know how that's going to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's like, you heard
Now-
it first. There you go.
Look at these matches. And we did a swap around. Was, okay, now all of a sudden we're going to throw Zico into the North American title match.
Yes.
Phenomenal decision. Phenomenal way they did it. And he was all over those two guys like stink on a monkey. I'm telling you right now, he just destroyed them.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're a
He rocked
Zico
it.
fan. Usually the people that the fans love, you don't seem to be a fan of. So
But see, I'm a congregation guy. I'm a
there you
Zico
go.
guy. I'm a Giant Orion guy. I'm a Bobby Clancy guy.
It's going to be a lot to put on one shirt.
yeah,
It is.
that's a lot. Yeah,
It is,
yeah.
but look at me.
We know
Four
some-
different hats.
Look at me. I've been to the gym. I'm here. That's just the way it is.
But yeah,
But
April,
we'll find out.
April
If
5th,
it's
yes, we'll
anywhere
find out
near
April 5th.
what we watched here, get your tickets now. Like, get out there, get the meet and greet.
That I can agree to.
Get the
It's-
meet and greet.
Yeah,
Because,
There you go.
like I said, every single one is better.
yeah.
Speaking of meet and greet, if you would you ever make yourself available for the meet and greet?
I would love to make myself available for the meet and
Okay,
greet.
good.
I have to hope that there are fans who would care enough to see. I think people want to see the talent in the ring. I don't think anybody cares to see or meet me. But yeah, I mean, what I love about the NCG is just how fan friendly we are. I love the fact that you can walk up to the Godfather 5 minutes before he goes in the ring to insult Bobby Clancy, which is what we
Which
saw.
is all right.
Which is all right, which is fantastic. Godfather said all the things that we were thinking, but I love that you can see Zico and get a picture with him, an hour before he wins the North American title.
Right.
Giant Orion, I don't know how he is in the meet and greets, but I mean, I know he's done the meet and greets before, but
He kind of threatened me a little
Yeah,
bit.
I mean,
but
that
you
doesn't
see
shock
these-
me,
you see
yeah.
these shoulders? I'm okay.
You're okay,
I
you're
can-
okay.
But on that note, because I've watched it, was that my partner kind of embarrassed all of us when he was asking questions and wishing a man of Giant Orion's prestige good luck in a match that we know he's going to win. So
wife
I
is
can see
my
how
wife
you
is
kind of
my
annoyed
wife,
him.
so I have to-
You kind of
have to
annoyed the
say
man.
good
you have to say
luck.
good luck, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not saying good luck to a guy that I know is going to win. I'm going to say congratulations.
Is it because luck is for losers?
Pretty much.
Okay.
These
My
guys
wife's part
are
Irish. I have to
skilled.
wish everybody luck. That's just what I
Skill,
do.
power,
That's my thing.
speed, and we've got that on this. We have all of that.
Oh, for sure.
The Godfather, the only disappointment was that we didn't actually see the Godfather wrestle because that's a childhood dream. I saw him the first time he showed up as Papa Shango. So I wanted to see that, but to meet the man, to see how he carries himself still is just amazing. And
he's
that's
still-
what you're going to get from Joe Hendry.
Still a large
Yes.
person. Too.
As I'm not a Joe Hendry fan. Oh, I am more of I enjoy some of his stuff, but not all. Last week
That
they
deserves
had
a juice box right there, yeah.
him and Elijah tagged up.
Yes. Yep.
I wasn't going for Joe Hendry.
No.
I'm going for Elijah because that's Joe Hendry's too new to me to actually care about what he's doing.
Okay.
But phenomenal wrestler. I cannot be the one to say yes, he does or doesn't deserve what his TNA championship reign and everything.
He does.
I think he's phenomenal.
He does.
I think he's growing. But to me, I'm not going to NCG April the 5th to believe in Joe Hendry.
Wow.
I'm going because I want the chance to meet again Zico.
Okay. So you say
The
his name,
giant.
He'll appear.
Essentially,
The king,
say his
the
name, he'll
giant
be the
Orion.
man.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
be there that day. So
Oh, no. You can't
know.
be there that day.
I know.
I think we
So
time to
there'll
cancel
be
some plans.
there'll be no awkward moments.
No awkward moments, I guess.
That'll
yeah.
be good.
So I think, a big story coming out of, again, we got the Ain't Easy poster here. I mean, let's talk about after the, we don't like to say cash in, that's a Money in the Bank term. Let's say the trade-in of the crown.
Yes.
Let's talk about the seismic acquisition that came into the NCG. I think an absolute surprise. Somebody who I don't believe anybody expected would ever be under the banner of the Noble Champions Group. Johnny Bravo coming to the NCG. attacking Bobby Clancy. So now going into April 5th, we talk about the mind of Bobby Clancy and who's in charge. I feel like that's a little bit in flux now. I'm not sure if Bobby Clancy's calling the shots anymore. Is it Johnny Bravo?
My question to you guys is, okay, Johnny Bravo, phenomenal, always been a huge name.
TNA talent liaison, and now talent liaison for the NCG as well.
The only thing that they could have done that would have even equaled is if you had Al Snow walk through the door.
Okay.
But Johnny Bravo is huge. That is a huge acquisition. A man is going to help, phenomenal. But look at the attitude the guy has.
Johnny Bravo's attitude.
He is as mean as a rattlesnake.
Really?
He's a Batman.
Because he doesn't take any shit. But you got Bobby Clancy who does the same thing, and we criticize him because he's a bad guy. So now you've got two brains of wrestling that are going to be clashing, and this is what I'm looking forward to: is who's going to come out on top. Okay. I don't know. Johnny Bravo, hats off to him. I think has had a phenomenal career. Where he is, he needs to be.
Oh, he's not done.
But
he's not done.
Can he counteract what Bobby Clancy's doing? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think he can.
Okay.
Because I think Bobby is the biggest little man in sports. Okay. That's what I'm going to tell you. And you heard it from me. If he walks in,
so you're putting Rey Mysterio and Bobby Clancy in the same vein, being the biggest little man in wrestling, is what you're saying.
I can't do anything about Rey Mysterio being 3'2". I can't do nothing about that. He's like watching midget wrestling.
I think that's what he's saying.
But Bobby Clancy,
juice box,
biggest little man ever. In wrestling.
All right,
Petey, reach in that bag, and I'll show you how far.
Oh wait,
you got that blue bag right behind you, Petey.
You got it. Oh my God.
I got it. It's going on.
What about
the Bobby Clancy, biggest little man on the planet.
Okay.
Was in here, he told us one thing: you guys need to get figures made of yourselves.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Yes. We never did that.
Month.
We never did that. But I did go out. And there's the official Bobby Clancy.
Wait a minute.
Action figure.
The figures that have been presented and the views and opinions expressed are those of Dan, not myself.
Nor me.
Or Sanjay.
So I'm not even gonna hold it. I feel like
you already put
someone
your
could take. I know someone could take a screenshot and say, "Look what he did."
Your fingerprints are.
Is that not supposed to be a fan of Bobby Clancy?
They're identical,
right?
Wow.
I feel like Clancy.
Why do you think I would go out and make him his very own? Action figure.
This seems like the opposite of what a Bobby Clancy fan would do.
No, but not if you know Bobby Clancy, because that's Bobby Clancy. You have to show. Bobby Clancy not only came out there and kicked some ass. But Bobby Clancy...
You're in so much trouble. You're in so much trouble.
Look at that. Double-fingered. We all cheered when Stone Cold did it.
I can see
What about the Irishman? So, double
Irish too.
Well, the NCG is a bit more fan-friendly, I think. Or family-friendly, I believe. So I think we'd have to blur that out in post if he did that.
Well, but what if I put this out beside the ring?
You're in trouble.
I think you'd...
would you know the difference between the two?
I think this is a weird thing for a Bobby Clancy fan to say.
I
think Bobby Clancy might be mad at you. Maybe. Or maybe he's finding endearing. I don't know. No one's done anything. I don't even think Orion, his buddy's gotten him a figure.
Yeah.
But Orion, to do an action figure of it, to match the scale would have to be 24 inches tall.
That's true. It would have to be...
Where am I getting that?
Okay, will you present that to him?
I think you should give it to him by yourself. You won't be there, so you won't be there for protection.
Yes.
And I think you give it to him. I'll just film for no reason, and whatever happens, happens. You know?
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, you know?
But only one of us, one of the three of us has gone out of their way to do something nice for Bobby Clancy.
Wow.
Because I want him to take this. I want him to run with it. I want him to make his money. And be financially
make replicas.
That's my whole thing.
Wow. Do you have a dictionary?
You're a humanitarian as well.
I know.
Do you have a dictionary? He doesn't have a dictionary in his house.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because you don't know what the word nice means.
I know. Let's do this. You give this to Bobby Clancy. How about we make a social video out of it? We'll post it on your guys' page. And we'll see if Bobby Clancy still is a fan of you.
It's going to go to Bobby Clancy.
Okay.
I can't let Zico see it because he may break it. Because he's not a fan.
Maybe.
But I think Bobby Clancy, biggest little man in wrestling, biggest little man in all of sports entertainment today.
Oh, wow.
I think the best brain. I think he's where he needs to be as the general manager. I don't have to agree with everything he does.
No.
Don't have to agree with everything. Just the key things.
Okay.
And I think that he brings.
Okay,
to
what
NCG,
has he done that you don't agree with?
Let's
put you on the spot.
That I don't agree with?
This is an interview.
Journalist
This is a
right here,
reporter.
journalist.
I did not agree with putting a puck in Zico's mouth and beating him up. I don't agree with that. And I'll tell you why. Because when they were there and they were at the arena and they're doing the puck drop, they got Zico out there.
Right.
Now, is it everybody's fault that nobody actually saw Bobby Clancy in the building? No.
Well, Zico's from Hockey Town.
But he's this tall. So they might have thought he was one of the kids in the crowd. So I can understand the anger that he had.
To a Make-A-Wish.
But he took that anger and he did not focus it properly. It came to a fuck in the mouth. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm just gonna hide under the table while you talk about
Merch is a good damn
heights and weights and all that.
Weights and measures.
So Bobby Clancy's back in the NCG on April 5th.
Yes.
Fresh off being assaulted by Johnny Bravo. So we'll again.
He was insulted.
Insulted and assaulted.
Yeah,
So we'll have to see. Well, yeah, not just Clancy, but Orion was taken out too. So,
but really, if we're gonna go on who was assaulted and carried out of there, we have to throw in our girl, Alice Lane.
Yeah, friend of the show.
Phenomenal referee.
yes. Oh my goodness.
She has done leaps and bounds for the referee. Wrong place, wrong time. And I heard, which you don't usually hear, if a referee gets taken out, people go, "Wow!" There were people yelling, "Not Alice!"
Yeah.
That's how popular
Somebody
she's
check
become.
her.
And when
help
did she
her.
get that popularity? Being on the show.
Oh wow. You think it was here? Eh?
Oh, I know it was.
You know it was here
because
wow.
up until then, nobody
Who
was
knew
yelling
her?
that
Is what you're
stuff.
saying, right? Who knew her?
Well, her mom did.
Alice, what?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
But we've had her on. We've gone through because to me, wrestling is more than just the wrestlers.
I'm gonna have to get on board.
Wrestling is everybody involved. We've had you on. We had Drake on.
Yeah.
Alice has been on. We're going to turn around and we're going to get Michael E. Joseph. We're going to pin him down. And we're going to get the Vince McMahon look.
Wow.
The Vince McMahon experience.
Wow.
That's what he offers.
Okay.
We've had Bobby, the terror of the town, come through. Great interviews.
Did you call
That's
them
what we
Tasmanian
do.
Devil, too? Is that what you called them?
I did not. You just
you
did.
didn't?
So you might want to make sure you're not there.
That's not the story I'm going to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alice, I told her backstage before NCG and Easy kicked off, Alice, I think you're the most liked person in all of wrestling. Yeah. And she, I mean, it doesn't shock me that the fans were saying her name specifically.
Yeah.
The concern
When she's
was-
the ref.
The genuine concern was there.
In the
And
last,
it wasn't just the fact that she got taken out, who she inadvertently got taken out by. I mean,
Right.
first off, it was Tony Gunn that pulled Alice in the way. So this
did.
was Tony Gunn's fault.
It was.
But Beastman, I mean, of all the people, Beastman taking out Alice.
What was Beastman thinking? Stop. You're gonna run into the girl? Come on.
No, he had to.
That was craziness. Like,
I
I think he had to finish the job going for Tony Gunn. I think that's what happened.
Tony Gunn was in flight or fight mode, and he was flight. That was the way it is.
Well, then move out of
that's
the
why
way.
it
You
went.
don't have to drag referee
He did
Alice
move out of the
Lane in the way.
It's not.
Well,
he was trying to pull her out of the way too, and bam,
how do you
she
know
got-
that? How do you know that?
Because I watched it.
Oh, okay.
Because I was watching it.
friend of
Well, I was
And I
calling
thought-
it, and I saw something different.
I thought that didn't work out quite like he wanted. But let's go into the Alice Lane thing. Because until NCG, I couldn't have told you any of the referees' names. Let's just do a quick shot back to Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Who was the referee?
Joey Morella.
I don't know.
Sorry, I know. Yeah,
I had
I'm
no
a
idea.
historian. I'm a historian.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Joey Morella.
Ric Flair and Harley Race. Who was the referee? I don't know. Because that wasn't as big as it is now. Now you're learning all the personalities.
Sure.
Yourself and Drake have got to notice that there's people that recognize you, not only from the news, but they're pulling Drake out too. It's like, that's the commentary team. They're the color commentary from NCG. They're not the color commentary from TNA. They're from NCG. Nobody's talking about TNA right now. They're looking at NCG in this town. What are you guys bringing to us? TNA's looking.
How did you get involved with the commentary team? Because you're not the color commentary. You are
Yes,
the play-by-play.
I'm play-by-play. Drake does color.
Yeah.
I wish I had a grandiose story about how I went through 12 rounds of auditions until they finally... Ultimately, it was prior to their first event, NCG In Your Town, on June 1st, 2024.
Yes.
A few months before that, I had seen some ads. I reached out on Facebook. Hey, my name is Sanjay. I've loved professional wrestling since day one. Always wanted to do commentary. Do you guys need commentators?
Right.
And to my surprise, they said, yes, we do. I was not expecting them to say, yes, you're in. And it's just a lesson in shoot your shot, kids. Shoot your shot, because you never...
Don't be pulling that one out. We might want to bleep that.
Shoot your shot? I think that's a normal term used
That's
today.
stolen from the WWE.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, shoot your shot.
Basketball.
That's basketball, exactly. Yeah, I don't know where your brain's going, but shoot your shot, kids. And the first event I did for free because I was being given the opportunity.
Sure.
And then ever since then, they've kept me on, and, we've come to an agreement, and I love what I do with the NCG. I mean, this is, like I said before, I was a Michael Cole fan before it was cool to be a Michael Cole fan. I grew up, everyone was a Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler fan. They were fans of those guys, and I was fans too, but I didn't have cable growing up. I only had antenna TV, UPN, SmackDown, network television. So Michael Cole, Taz, they were my guys, and I loved, the cadence and the way they present themselves. And then, of course, you've got Mauro Ranallo, and I've met Tom Hannafin, formerly known as Tom Phillips in WWE, and they're all fantastic people. Got a photo with Mauro when he was in Windsor a few months ago. I've met Tom when TNA was in Windsor a little while back. So try to just pick their brain, learn what I can from them, and haven't met Michael Cole yet. To me, that's the Everest, but the ability to do commentary not just on the stars of tomorrow, but some of the biggest stars of today. I'm going to call it Joe Hendry match on April 5th. I mean, that is just...
That's great for you.
That's great for me, yeah.
Could you really compare Michael Cole to what we grew up on, which was Gorilla Monsoon and
Yes,
Jesse
I can.
the Body?
I can. I will fight this to the death.
Because he's younger.
I will fight this again. Well, no, not just because I'm younger. I think that the responsibilities of what a Michael Cole has to do compared to
Michael Cole,
a Gordon Soley, or even a Jim Ross. And I think Jim Ross has even said this in interviews. Jim Ross has even said this, that what Michael Cole does compared to what we had to do, he's not just showing up doing commentary.
Right.
He's doing pre-shows, he's doing post-shows, then during the post-show when they go to the desk, they're throwing back to Michael Cole and Pat, reflecting on what just happened. They're doing, now you've got podcast interviews. He was just, I don't think he would have, he was just on impulsive, right? Like, I mean,
someone learned
the responsibilities that they're doing are not...
Are we praising Michael Cole for doing his job, doing what he was paid
because
to do?
his job is a bigger
he's
job.
a lot more than we are.
Yeah, for doing it
But
well.
we're doing a lot more than he is.
Are you?
And that's all there is to it. You have no
Juice
idea
box.
what's behind. Do you need more juice, sir?
No, I'm rationing it.
Are you
I'm
good?
rationing
Okay,
it. Yeah, I'm good.
You don't have to ration. We can buy juice.
Oh, good.
Slow and steady.
Slow and
wins the
steady.
race.
Yeah. I'm going slow because I feel like I'm going to need a lot of sips here. But
You might.
yeah.
So what
But
do you think?
Jesse
Sorry,
the
go
Body.
ahead. Yeah,
No better commentator than Jesse the Body.
he was good.
Jim Ross, phenomenal. Gorilla Monsoon,
Okay.
phenomenal. Bobby the Brain Heenan opened the door.
Yes.
Like Michael Cole,
Heel commentary. Yeah.
I'm lucky if I look at Michael Cole and he's actually dressed appropriately. I'm not even sure what he's doing.
Yeah, he's
His
not
biggest
like-
goal of the
In case you
night,
didn't notice.
and this is just me, but it's the only one that matters right now, is that Michael Cole, his biggest obstacle of the night is trying to yeet.
Yeah.
And he can't do it.
I think it's very endearing that a man with no rhythm is as excited as he is.
I think
Right,
that
someone with a man with
yeah,
rhythm, right?
exactly.
70,000 people that are doing it correct, and there's one guy in the middle that's doing it completely wrong.
Well, I think that's why the fans have taken to him so much. They know how authentic
Because they
he is.
feel bad for him.
No, because he's authentic. He's authentic. He's not trying to be something he's not.
Michael Cole is not where you want, like, he's not leaping bounds above anybody. Michael Cole, half the time, he doesn't know which side he's going for. One day he hates this guy, the next he loves him. So I
Cole
can't
has an
follow
Apple
him.
Watch and he doesn't like he
Are you two not related?
We are related. actually.
Okay, so that explains a
basically-
lot of this show.
Yeah,
much
we are.
cousins, aren't
Yeah,
we?
my best friend married. Who's
My cousin.
your cousin? My best friend, who is like a brother to me.
I didn't
married
know
his
we were
cousin.
supposed to bring back up because I
Yeah,
would have brought
yeah,
Bobby Clancy.
So
Well,
let's send a quick
that would make
shout out.
sense that Bobby Clancy would be related to you because you're both,
phenomenal. We know.
Sure.
We know.
Sure.
And we surround ourselves with
Doesn't
greatness
have
and
to
power.
share. Remember that.
I know.
That's what we do.
I know.
That's what we do. Greatness, power,
Well,
the Clancy clan.
well, let's see
Mine.
what happens to that power on April 5th when now we've got Johnny Bravo in the mix. Essentially, I believe, challenging the power of Bobby Clancy. Maybe that's not what he's doing. I believe it is.
I think
And he
that
came with a
he's
bat,
got a
too.
different role, but I
True.
think that they will clash with each other, and it's going to be all right. I'm a Clancy guy. I'm going for Clancy. That's the way it is.
Okay.
Irish Bobby Clancy.
I see
is gonna
Johnny
be
Bravo
last
as a symbol of karma for everything that Bobby Clancy has done last year. I don't think it's fair to equate what Johnny Bravo did to Bobby Clancy to what Bobby Clancy has done throughout all of last year.
But what Johnny-
And I think that when he essentially turned the crown into Money in the Bank, which we will find out if that was even supposed to be the condition
Yes,
of the crown. I
that's
think
right.
we
As
need
time
to
goes on.
sort that out.
But the
I
Johnny,
think that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
did Johnny Bravo not come out and put his hands on Bobby Clancy?
He did.
Is that how we want our officials to act?
You know what? Bobby Clancy stepped
we
in the right.
criticized Bobby for doing it.
I think he used.
But
the
we're
bat,
okay
so I
when-
don't know if he put his hands on it.
When the new sheriff in town comes out and goes after Bobby, we're okay with that. But when Bobby does it, it's taboo. It's not supposed to happen.
I think that
Come on.
you have an interesting way of revising history, my friend. And,
No, it's there.
It's there,
It's
eh?
there. It's all locked away in there.
Yeah?
Okay.
And just so you know, it's a scary place to take a tour. But
Yeah.
I will go through it. And Bobby came out, did the wrong thing, put his hands on Zico, put the puck in, bang, 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 boom, boom. Changed some rules around to make things better.
Well,
China Ryan wins.
Debatable.
Now we cheer when a man comes out and puts their hands on Bobby and makes him get carried out.
I think that Johnny
does-
Bravo is a dose of karma for Bobby Clancy. I'm happy that we have Johnny Bravo in the NCG. I think that he represents the fact that anything can happen in the Noble Champions group, and I'm excited to see where this story leads between
So-
Clancy and Bravo.
For
So now,
2025,
2025,
we are-
new era, new year. Yeah.
We are assuming that Johnny Bravo is going to go down the road that he showed.
Well, you know,
What if Johnny Bravo and Bobby Clancy get together and run the place? They just run it the way they want. Are we still going to be Johnny Bravo lovers? No, we're not.
That's interesting.
We're not. We're gonna
That's a good
flip-flop.
question. That's a good question.
We're going to flip-flop. So everyone says about me flip-flopping back and forth, and I go to Giant Orion and Zico and Father Marquis. But if he doesn't do as you're predicting he's going to do, and that's take care of Bobby Clancy, if he joins Bobby, we all going to be happy about this? I don't think you are. I think you're flip-flopping. And
We'll see.
flip-flop right to the beach with Karen McKenzie.
Ooh, look at that.
With Karen.
Full circle from the
Yeah.
last event.
Yeah, there you go.
Very poetic.
Yep. So-
Very poetic. That was beautiful. Brought tears.
I know. I know.
Yeah, you can see the tears. See that
Yeah.
too?
It's only
I
one.
thought-
Crying because what you said is so
That's a
beautiful.
Denzel
I thought
Washington-
it
that's a Denzel
painful to hear.
Washington
I
moment
honestly
there.
thought that it
Wow.
was not a tear. I thought you shot juice on your face.
Yeah.
That's
That,
what I
I might
thought.
do that too. Yeah, no, definitely.
So we have the coffee for the men. We have the juice box
Water.
For the
man.
and
West Texas
Laguato for
yeah.
the man on the far end.
And based on everything I've had to listen to for the last hour, this is juice with nothing else in it. Definitely. So.
No, there's nothing
Next-
else in
next-
that.
No, I wish there was. Okay. NCG April 5th is turning out to be a, obviously stacked card ladder match to determine the new Noble King. And that'll be interesting, I think, to determine who gets the Noble Crown, because if it is something that, whether they can cash it in when the champ is down or use it for a fair title match, I think who has the crown, we're going to see the crown be used very differently. If it's somebody that maybe is looking to take a shortcut, I can see them pushing for Bobby Clancy to, hey, if John Orion got to use a shortcut, why can't I? I think if it's somebody a little more noble, I think you're going to see maybe that individual try to hold on to the crown for a while, wait for the right champion so that they can show the crowd, they can show the NCG fans that they are deserving of being the NCG World Champion, unlike Giant Orion. I think there's an argument to be made that Giant Orion is not deserving to be the World Champion.
No, that's an opinion. That's not an argument. That's an opinion
He
of
has
yours.
not won every match.
That is
in the
not.
NCG.
That is not.
That he's been in.
because I'm going to guarantee you right now, we go in there, you're not going to say that to his face because he'll ragdoll you around the place. Now,
That's why I sit behind the table.
Here's what I want to see. And I'm all for the 6-man ladder match. That's a phenomenal way to do it, is put a man in there that you don't need a ladder. Jack Talos.
He'll just reach for it.
That's right.
Yeah. I think if he goes on the top and jumps for it, he might be able to just...
I don't even think he needs to jump. He just goes over and says, okay, match over, takes the belt, and he goes on. So are we going to be happy about this?
It'll be interesting to see who is in that ladder match. Obviously, it depends on availability of talent. I think if Jack Talos is available, I'm sure that he would love to be in that match, and maybe he wouldn't need maybe if he did need a ladder, it would just have 2 steps.
And let's go underdog, and let's put Karen in there, too.
I think so.
Maybe he can hold the ladder for somebody.
I think Kieran McKenzie showed a lot of heart, and he should be commended.
I think Kieran McKenzie was like a half a slap away from showing a lot of blood. A lot of heart. I'll give it to him because he climbed in the ring with them. So that's what I'll give him.
Okay.
Legacy, same thing. He actually showed up. He made it to the ring finally. Winded, but he got up there.
I would like him to be on the show, Mr. Legacy. So
Mike Legacy, call out. These two want to have you on the show.
I would love to have you here.
I don't know.
Why? Because it's the exact same thing. But there is a series of stairs to get to the studio. And we will start the filming maybe 10 minutes after you get here once you've gotten your wind back. But let's talk about one quickly that I thought were a phenomenal team.
Yeah.
Was KPK.
KPK, yes.
They have that the audience loves to hate them. They figured that niche out because he walked over, put out his fist, and went. And the kid was 10 and said, sit down.
He did.
And there was a verbal confrontation going on between a 10-year-old and that tag team. Wow. And I was like, wow. Like, this. So you
see that interaction and you go, you're just mesmerized by it, is what you're saying.
What I go by is, that is one tough little kid I brought with me.
Oh, there you go. You're crediting the kid. That's refreshing, yeah.
Good. Now,
I thought you were celebrating Karu and Ahmed for standing up to a 10-year-old.
I'm
which would check out based on everything I've heard from
10-year-old who had the guts to stand up to him. Now, nobody on here other than maybe Giant Orion and my man Zeke are going to have the guts to stand up to the Soul Taker. I mean, I'm just putting it out there. Soul Taker gets into that ladder matches and wins. You people are going to be very, very sad.
Yeah,
very sad.
I would actually. I would
because the Soul Taker can destroy 90% of the talent that they've brought in.
And by the way, the Soul Taker is a big question mark because the last time we saw him before Ain't Easy, when he attacked Stone Rockwell and essentially cost him the title, he stole the physical NCG World title from Stone Rockwell.
So
I assumed Stone Rockwell was going to go after the title at NCG Ain't Easy, but I guess because Kieran picked him as one of his mystery partners, his focus shifted. But look what happened. He took his eyes off Soul Taker.
Yes, but
Soul Taker
that is going
under
under the assumption that Stone Rockwell had the guts to go after the Soul Taker, which he did not. I'll tell you now.
Is that an opinion or a fact?
No, that's a fact.
Why?
Because you heard it here first. So, listen to me now.
There's not even juice in here anymore, folks.
He's getting to the bottom of the well here. Hold on.
Waiter, can we get
another juice box?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, 3's the limit on that.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. Depending on how long this goes, I think that I might need unlimited. All you can drink.
Okay, let me ask you.
Yes.
Now. Okay, so if you've been there since day one, so of all the matches that you've been able to call, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, definitely the 2024 NCG Match of the Year. Fatal 4-way ladder match. Zico, Crash Jackson, Jason Hodge from TNA, Dante Casanova. They put on an absolutely incredible ladder match. I mean, I can't.
Who's the referee? Who's the referee?
Let me guess. Was it Alice Lane?
Bam!
Look at that. Alice Lane, most liked person in wrestling. Friend of the show. So, I mean, Jason Hodge's moonsault to the outside, the splash through the table. Dante Casanova taking a huge choke slam off the ladder from Zico, and that's what allowed Zico to grab the briefcase and secure a future title shot for the North American Championship. There's also some other matches that stand out. Definitely, the inaugural main event between Giant Orion and Stone Rockwell. Just the feeling going into that match and going into that main event because this first main event is really going to set the pace for the rest of the company.
Exactly.
And I think they put on a match that, succeeded in doing just that. And then who can forget, speaking of main events, the second event, action adventure match, Stone Rockwell versus Beastman, they went outside the building.
Yeah,
they were literally in the parking lot for a few seconds. I mean, I was standing on my chair just to see the action because that's how chaotic things went. So
it was still early on too.
And it's still exactly.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off. But
Please, no, please do. It's your show.
So that one went out into the parking lot.
That was a genuine juice box drink, by the way. I wasn't sick of anything he said. Yeah.
Not yet. When we went to, we were just at A&Easy a couple of weeks back. So I noticed that you have, we'll call it the Tron.
Yeah.
So the action spilled out, not out of the building, but outside the ring, and we were able to watch the Tron. Is that something new that you built?
Yes, that is something that they wanted to prioritize for this most recent show. First event of 2025, let's make sure that everyone in the building, and I think that was a learning lesson from the action spilling out to the parking lot. You had a lot of people who couldn't see the action, so we wanted to make it a priority, increase the production, up the budget, to make sure that we can bring that screen in so everybody can see everything. And I think we have so many talent that come to the NCG and they say that this feels different than anything else that they've performed in front of. Mm-hmm. And for me, what it comes down to is our video production capabilities that I think that we have that other independents don't.
Right.
Because when we have those video production capabilities, that is the key to filling in the crowd. That is the key to getting them up to date so that it feels like a WWE, it feels like a WCW, it feels like it doesn't matter that you might miss this next show because you will be looped in on the show after everything that happened. And we will make sure that we tell you the story. Like, we're not going to tell you every single thing that's happened in the past, but depending on the match that's coming up, we will tell you what you need to know so that you have the full context to care about these characters who are in the ring. And, I'll never forget when I was in the ring for the final event of last year, I was talking to the crowd, and it was essentially leading to this Kieran McKenzie, Bobby Clancy 8-man tag.
December 7th, we were there.
And we had to remind the crowd what happened, which is of why Kieran and Clancy don't like each other. Where did this rivalry seem? If you're just showing up for the first time, why does a Windsor City Councilor not like a Windsor wrestling legend? It's something that we need to. We can't just assume everybody in the crowd knows what's happening. So I threw to the video package. And I believe it was Isaiah Broner, one of the wrestlers who was on that card, and he told our owner, Michael Joseph, you don't see this at other companies. You don't see these kinds of videos, this attention to detail, this desire to... you good over there? You good?
Good.
Oh, you're good. This desire...
I kind of dozed off.
You kind of dozed off a little bit, yeah. This desire to keep the crowd informed, and to me, that's what sets us apart. And I'm a stickler for those little details. I like the crowd being fully informed on every single detail of the story so that when a big moment happens, like when Johnny Bravo shows up or when Bobby Clancy pins Kieran or when Zico, wins the ladder match, we care about these characters. We're not just like, oh, he won a match. Right. Oh, he won a match. He won.
Who's coming out next?
Who's coming out next?
You're invested.
You're invested a little more. And also our team can use the video. I don't know if I might be breaking the fourth wall here, but we can use those videos to almost divert your attention where, they're highlighting this person. I assume they're going to win. But.
Yep.
And then, now who's this person that took out this guy that we thought this was the big deal? Now this person beat that. So we can kind of play with the emotions of the crowd based on what we present. And that video screen, that Tron, like you mentioned, is to me the tool. Is that key that we can use that I think other people don't have.
Yeah, very true. No, that's excellent point. Let me ask you one more thing too. Do you have, because I don't always hear the commentary.
Yeah.
Do you have a catchphrase that people should know?
No, I don't. I'm not yet.
Got juice?
Got juice. Yeah. Well, that's when he's our guest commentator for the next one. No, I don't have a catchphrase yet. I'm still finding my identity in terms of who I want to be as a commentator because, and when Michael Cole was on Impulse, I'm a big fan of Michael Cole. If ever you want to have a coffee or something, you just let me know. I'll just talk for hours. But Michael Cole was mentioning on the Impulsive podcast that a lot of the major reason why a lot of the commentators who have come after him have not been able to essentially take over his spot is because they've been trained to be the next him, to sound like Michael Cole. Right. And so why do you need another Michael Cole when you already have Michael Cole?
Yeah.
Please don't.
But now you have, a lot of people would disagree with you, but now you have a guy like Joe Tessitore, who is completely different from Michael Cole, who was, that ESPN style sports
Done it all,
broadcaster.
baseball,
Right, exactly. He is not Michael Cole, and now you have these two distinct sounding teams. I'm still going. You have these two distinct.
Graves.
I'm still going. We have these two distinct sounding teams.
Right.
So I think for myself and Drake, I think we're getting there, but we're trying to find our own niche, our own sound, where I'm not just he's Michael Cole light and he's Corey Graves light. We're trying to be Sanjay and Drake. So.
No,
Which
that makes a lot of sense.
I'll give you guys there is a couple things I would like to
Cheers.
point out was we had a very special guest that was at NCG, Otis Apollo.
Yes.
He was
Otis
there.
Apollo in the crowd. Yeah.
Much love to Otis Apollo. He was in the crowd. One of the things to come away, and I've been to a lot of WWE, a lot of big wrestling, where the commentary team you really don't pay much attention to. You see, where are they in relation to me? You guys are different because you want to see it because I'm reacting. The guy beside me react, but I want to know how you're reacting. So people's eyes are on you guys the whole time.
Yeah, definitely. And
because you're right there.
We're right there, and I think that is something that Drake and I try to prioritize too. Is I think especially in this new reality era, Netflix era too, that prioritizes authenticity. Myself and Drake don't want to just be. We're just sitting and we're just, calling a match and you barely notice us. We want to be part of the show, not in the way of,
I want you to be part of the show. I want you to be part of the show. I want that excitement. I want that reaction. Sometimes I want them to bring you in and ragdoll you. But I think the two of you has worked phenomenal together.
Thank you.
I'll give you that. And I think that you guys have become personalities of NCG.
Thank you. And that is something we prioritize. We want to make sure, not that we are shifting focus away from the talent, but adding to, if we want the crowd, if we just saw something insane and the crowd is acting like it's insane, like when Beastman takes out Alice Lane, we should be acting like humans who see that. And as humans, we would stand up and we'd freak out. We wouldn't just say, I hope the guy behind me can still see. No, we're going to stand up and we're going to freak out because that is an insane thing that we just saw.
That's it.
And it's an incredible honor to be able to add to this production that, like you've mentioned, is it's just scaling up and up and up and up. And again, 2025, new era, new people in charge. Perhaps we'll see what happens with Johnny Bravo, but definitely a new era for the NCG. And I think having Joe Hendry help kick off this new year for the NCG. I mean, we had Johnny Bravo and Godfather as kind of the big names to kick things off, and now Joe Hendry is just this. It's just a rocket ship that just keeps going up.
And going off of that, and I've said this from the start, was yes, we had the Godfather there. Yes, we got Joe Hendry going. We've had Moose. With the talent that is being displayed, you don't need that anymore. And the small indies do need that. They need Rhino. They need whoever they can get to bring that crowd in. We're at a point very quickly where people are showing up to see the talent that is in NCG instead of who's your celebrity.
Yeah, that's right. They are the celebrity.
Yeah, like I love to meet a celebrity, but I want to know more of the story of these guys.
And that's why I think at the kickoff of NCG Ain't Easy, it was important for us to put Godfather in a spot that highlighted our NCG original pillars. I will call them pillars. I know that's a big, good word to use right now. Zico to me is a pillar. Chambers is a pillar. Orion may not like his attitude. He is a pillar to me. So, and I've seen other independents too. Like maybe they would have brought Godfather out. He would have said hi to the crowd, and that would have been the end of it.
Yeah.
Right.
We said, okay, what can we do to have Godfather highlight somebody else?
Yep.
So he's essentially putting over Zico when Zico wins, and you have Zico and Godfather celebrating with the girls. And now that's a moment that Zico will remember for the rest of his life. That first off, he'll already remember that night because he walked out as the North American champion. Yeah. But before that, I got to celebrate with the Godfather? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Was this a dream?
It, yeah.
You guys won 2 matches on that night.
Who's that?
Giant
Orion.
Yep.
And Zico.
It was a separate match, technically. The trading in of the crown was a separate match,
Two,
and you just had 2 pillars.
2 pillars,
of NCG. Pulled off what a lot of WWE guys haven't been able to do for years because they got rid of that, was wrestling twice in the same night.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like Zico's match. that was not an easy match that he got added to.
Sure.
No,
You're going against
Fred?
two guys.
Right.
now.
He didn't just, yeah.
So Zeke the Freak, Power, the guy's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So,
So, question for you, as you're out there, and we have stuff like Johnny Bravo coming through.
Yeah.
A special guest that is coming in is going to captivate the crowd. It's going to send everyone. Do you know about it before, or are we going off of your real reaction to a celebrity guest, or oh my God, Beastman is here, or do you know that beforehand? Or are
In
we
some
getting
cases,
it?
yes. In some cases, no. In some cases, I assume we're breaking some walls here. In
But
some
which
cases,
is
yeah.
better? Which is better for you?
I think if I'll give you both answers. It's better for me not to know because you get the genuine reaction. It's better for me to know because obviously it helps you prepare for what's coming. If it's someone like Stone Rockwell and Beastman, yeah, I know that they were the mystery partners beforehand.
yeah.
Did I know that Johnny Bravo was coming in the nature that he did and what he was going to say? No.
Did you know that the Soul Taker was coming out?
No.
So that's a genuine
I
reaction.
knew that Soul Taker was in the building. I didn't know what his involvement would be. Yeah, but I knew that I didn't know that was what he was going to do. In fact, I assumed when he was advertised on social media to be on the card, he would be in a match. And then when I saw he wasn't, I thought maybe he's just there. Maybe he's going to... Maybe he's got some plans for Rockwell. Who was to say he attacks him before the match? I don't know what he's... The overlords of NCG and Soul Taker are thinking, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I saw him do what he did and attack Rockwell...
Phenomenal.
Well,
Phenomenal.
well...
And I'm going to say phenomenal because I'll guarantee you, if the three of us are standing there talking to the Soul Taker about it, there's going to be one guy left because two of them are going to take off because they ain't saying that crap to him.
Right.
The guy is a monster. We've had him on the show. We've met him live. We know what he's capable of. And I'll tell you right now that The Undertaker has nothing on the Soul Taker.
Oh!
Nothing.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Nothing on the Soul Taker.
Hold on. What is happening here?
Cheers.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
So-
Thank you.
Dropping bombs. Is that
Dropping. I know.
I'll be dropping F-bombs
Cheers
if
for
we don't come out of this
last
quick.
episode.
So,
Yes.
but you've got a talent like the Soul Taker and people were, oh my God, it's the Soul Taker. I was just wondering, do you guys know ahead of time that, other than him being there, that he's going to be making some type of an appearance? He's going to come in just to prepare yourself, but I prefer just the honest
Genuine
emotion.
reaction. The great thing about the NCG being, we're in this interesting spot where, oh wow, look at that, autographed by a dead man.
That's right.
That's amazing that you got something signed by a man who's not alive. I mean, that is just incredible.
Yeah. Who else can say that?
Who else can say that? Yeah.
Nobody.
Except a guy with weird kinks. But who else can say that? But we're in this weird spot. I love you. We're in this weird spot.
Why are you touching me?
We're in this weird spot where, and you've alluded to it a lot, where we are not trying to be a WWE and TNA, but we're also trying to put on a product where if you went to 10 independents, you would say NCG's different.
Yeah. I agree.
And so because we are in that middle ground, we're able to do things where we're not confined to what you would expect from a WWE and TNA, but we also have the pressure of putting on a product that is better than these other guys. So the reason I'm saying that is because Drake and myself will put the preparation into a card as commentators that you would expect from a WWE and TNA, but because we're also independent, we're also going to get surprised by a lot of things. Right. Because we don't have 50 agents, and we don't have, every match has a producer, and, we got a $5 million budget. We are trying to make things work within the resources that we have, and I think that we do the best with what we can, and I don't say that in a disparaging way of, we do the best with what we can. No. I say that as we do the best that we can, and I'm proud of the product that we put out. But
as you should be.
I think that's better. I like that I'm not looped into everything. I like that before Johnny Bravo came out, I was told by the owner, someone's going to come out, we're not going to tell you who it is. I said, well, I should know, and he's like, just you'll know when you know, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. But something's going to happen, and you should just call it as you see it. And I said,
you're waiting just like we are, because
we
don't.
So now even though I know something's happening and I know someone's gonna come out, I don't know who is it? Someone's going to come out and be on Orion's side? Is it someone's going to come out and look like they're not on Orion's side and then hit someone else? Like, are they going to take? I don't know.
On their side, I don't think he does.
Well,
I don't think Orion needs a lot of people on his side.
He's got the GM on his side.
The side.
Well, you know what?
Orion,
I would agree with you before the last event that he has the GM on his side. He doesn't need anybody on his side. But now you've got someone challenging the power of the GM.
You've got a guy there that.
Now,
I don't think he needs anyone on his side because his side is bigger than most of the people on the card.
Interesting.
And that's just the side of him. You put him square on.
Right, now he just takes...
Now you've got, this is like...
You're talking literal size, is what you're talking about. Wow. Wow. Very insightful. I've learned a lot from you. You're very wise, you know that?
I know.
I might take some of the things that you've said here today and adopt them into my commentary. Right. That's why you're going to see a juice box next to me.
Is what they call wise beyond his
We'll bring you juice. I got no problem with that.
That'd be great. This podcast is sponsored by Allen's. Allen's Peach Cocktail.
We don't know who Allen is, but he likes Allen.
Yeah.
And he likes his juice.
Yeah. All right.
Take what you want.
So, before we get out of here, anything that you want people to know? You have a special talent.
He likes juice.
I do like peach juice. This is maybe if this was mango, it would have been better, but peach is good too. What I want people to know is that the NCG is being run by a team of people who only care about putting on the best product, and they bring in talent that are only concerned about putting on the best matches. We are not concerned with bringing in talent who are just here for a quick paycheck. We are concerned with bringing in people who want to help build this thing into something that we can all be proud of, because like we've been saying, this is a rocket ship. and to go from we're not even a year, remember, we're not even a year in. June 2024 we started. This is February 2025 we're recording this. We're not even a year in, and we already have I've gotten to call segments with The Godfather, and Joe Hendry's coming. Moose the TNA champion at that time, has been here. And not just those big names, but like you said, people are coming to see those pillars, those young guys that... I'm so honored, just strictly in-ring ability I'm talking, but Damian Chambers, to me, is one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
To me, he is. Zico is as charismatic as they come, and I'm so happy that we can see the growth of these individuals, and I get to lend my voice to it. If you have an opportunity to come to an NCG wrestling event, and this is more so a message to the people who are not wrestling fans, if you somehow stumble upon this wrestling podcast and you get to the end and you're not a wrestling fan, go to an NCG event, because I'm telling you right now, it's a form of entertainment. I would say go to any wrestling event, but I do commentary for the NCG, so I'm going to plug the NCG.
If you want to see this young man,
I appreciate it. But professional wrestling, and you both understand this better than anybody, is a form of art and entertainment that cannot be matched. I mean, the reactions from the crowd. I mean, look at last night, John Cena. My goodness, what a guy. But
something.
Yeah, Mr. Baldspot. Yeah,
Mr. Baldspot.
He was phenomenal.
I know. I'm sure you loved him. But just check out an NCG event. It's unlike anything you've ever seen, and I guarantee you, whether you're a fan of wrestling or not, you will walk out feeling like you got your money's worth. 100%.
Absolutely. Yes. I am
even he will say that.
Ambassador for NCG. I will tell you, when you go to NCG's matches, you get your ticket, you do your meet and greet, you go and you watch the match. You're pretty much guaranteed in the first 3 rows with a meet and greet.
Yes.
You sit there, you enjoy your time, you get the reaction, but you've got everybody as a professional.
Yes, that is. Yes.
What NCG is doing now that, and I'm not going to say their name, but other independents in the area are not doing, is when everybody thinks they have the answers, NCG changes the question. Ooh. And that is a phrase right from Roddy Piper. So I'm going to tell you right now that's the way it is you go in there, and I can tell you, I had the preconceived notion of what I was going to see.
Yeah.
And that's not what I saw. When I left there, it was like I just had walked out of Joe Louis Arena after watching Brock Lesnar on the last throw at the Joe.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I had leaving there. That's what's important. Get your tickets, get your meet and greet, and if you pay enough, I'll give you a picture.
You'll sign something for me?
Oh, that's so nice. What a humanitarian again.
That's
lovely. The one thing.
That's so lovely.
And we keep saying, what does NCG have that nobody else has? They have the Wrestling Roundup. That's what we have.
Oh, look at that.
Well, they'll have half because one's going away.
We are in an era where wrestling fans prioritize stories more than ever. I mean, look at it being on Netflix. And that's what the NCG is trying to provide. We are trying to provide, talking about that cross between being smaller than a WWE but also bigger than an independent. We're trying to find that. Well, I think we achieve it. That balance between you're going to get those great matches and you assume you're going to go in and just get match, and you'll see some wrestling and leave. But then you walk out saying, oh my goodness, there were actually some stories there. Yeah. And I'm invested and I want to come back to the next one because, I mean, look at the end of Ain't Easy. It ended with Bravo taking out Clancy and Orion and Joe Hendry being revealed. That was the end of the night.
Yeah.
So we didn't give you any answers there. The questions were what's going to happen next, and the only way to find out is April 5th at the LaSalle Event Center for NCG Believe, featuring the TNA World Champion Joe Hendry and your boy on commentary. And one half of the Wrestling Roundup, we can argue which is the better half of the Wrestling Roundup that'll be there, but this half will be there on April 5th.
On the looks. Yes. He's just not. That's the way it is.
Wow. You're a beautiful man. You're a beautiful man.
And tickets are available right now at NCG.
NCGWrestling.com. Tickets are available right now. So get your tickets. Joe Hendry will be part of the meet and greet. So if you get a VIP ticket, you can have a chance to get a video of you doing the turn with Joe Hendry and the smile. So it'll be great.
Come out and meet the team.
From Sanjay, too.
Yeah.
Meet the team from CKRTradio.com and the Wrestling Roundup. Meet half. We'll have the man behind the camera, Petey.
Other side of the glass. Yep. I'll be there.
You're a good man, Petey.
You're Sanjay and Drake. And, hopefully Sanjay still has a job after.
I think so.
Okay, now if people are looking to find you online, where can we find you?
So they can find, under the table hiding from him. But when I'm not under the table hiding from his amazing fanfare of Giant Orion and Bobby Clancy, you can find me on CTV News Windsor. We're providing local news updates every single day. We have our 6 o'clock newscast, our 11 o'clock newscast. And we appreciate everybody who watches our newscast every single day. And you can find me on Instagram, sun.j.maru, san.jay.maru. And then on Twitter, it's sunj, capital J, Maru. We got local news updates on there. And then also, I just love posting. The great thing about having my personal accounts is if you're a wrestling fan who loves the local news in Windsor, Essex, then my account is a dream account because you get a mix of both. And you get a little bit of news, a little bit of wrestling, and you can see me on there. So this was an honor. Yeah, great to be here.
Do you want to say hello to your family before you leave?
I would love to say hello to my family.
Hi, his family.
Hi to my wife Shubu and my 7-month-old Rhea. She is cute and cuddly, and thank you. And I can't wait to go home after this and see her and just basically love it. Yeah, it's the best. It's the
welcome
best.
to the club.
Thank you. It's no disrespect to boy dads, but
not at all.
Girl dads are better. So. I'm loving life, and it's an honor to do what I do between CTV News and being a girl dad and doing commentary for the NCG. It's the trifecta that I could never have dreamed of. So
and being almost my cousin.
And exactly, now being in your family. Yeah, exactly.
You ain't winning no popularity contest.
Let's send a shout out to Andrew and Janelle.
Yes, Andrew and Janelle. Hope you're doing well. I hate that you guys moved away from Windsor, but you know what? That's okay. You guys got to do what you got to do.
When they come back to town.
Exactly. When you come back, you can come to an NCG event.
Let's do a shout out to Giant Orion.
Andrew and Janelle. I think we'll shout you out for the Giant Orion. Family first. Exactly.
All right, we'll bring them back in April.
Love it.
Come to a show in April.
Can't wait.
All right. Okay, we are going to get out of here with that. And if you're looking to find us, you can find us at CKRTradio.com. You can find us on Spotify. You can also find us on Facebook. We are the Wrestling Roundup on Facebook, and we are Wrestling_Roundup on Instagram. Oh, you can find us on the CKRT Border City Radio app, and that's available in the App Store as well as the Google Play Store. So with that, thanks for joining us for the Wrestling Roundup. We hope you enjoyed diving into the world of suplexes and smackdowns with us today, and be sure to tune in for another exciting episode next week. Same time, same ring. So, for our special guest, Sanjay Maru, I'm Jay, he's Dan, and we'll see you when we look at you.